Peace and love, family. Peace and love. Hold on. Yeah, I'm recording. Peace and love, family. Peace and love to all the guys and goddesses of this beautiful planet. Ascended Master Class is in session. Y'all grab your pads and your pens because we about to go within once again. Y'all multidimensionally tuned in to another exclusive, eccentric, and electric broadcast, aka Godcast, because this is not the average podcast, you feel me? So, topic of discussion for today is the power of silence and sound healing frequencies. That's what we're talking about today. The power that you all have to heal your own mind, you know, your own mental body, emotional bodies, and spiritual bodies with sacred sound. All right, which is no sound. You know, how many of y'all, when y'all wake up, first thing y'all do is get on your phone and cut on some noise, scroll through social media, you know, maybe play some music, maybe play some toxic music, you know, maybe distract yourself with the news, you know, which are, you know, not very wise ways to start your days. You hear me? Y'all see what I did there? Those are not very wise ways to start or end your days. All right. As a matter of fact, I forgot to play my sound bowl before I left the house. I'm on my way to my job. You know, I work on this lovely golf course y'all see here. But so anyway, sound, you know, many of you aren't there yet, but eventually you'll come to find out that you find yourself, you know, and you connect more to a power greater than yourself, you know, through silence and through sound healing, through frequency tones, binaural beats, hertz music, 432 hertz, 528 hertz. Those are the love frequencies. Then you have the solfeggio frequencies, which are it's composed of 9 frequencies, like the 420, the 432, and the 528, and they all do something different. You know, one of them helps with DNA repair. One of them helps eliminate fear and anxiety. You know, one of them helps you, you know, tap into the cosmos and the divine through your crown chakra. You know, you know, they help heal your nervous system. And sound bowls, you know, the little bowls where people hit them and boom, and they spin the thing around them. I'm pretty sure y'all have seen people play those. Don't underestimate the power those hold, that they have. All right? Don't estimate the power of silence alone, you know, without any of that, you know. You can hear the whispers of your soul and the whispers of the Most High in silence when you're not distracted. You know, you cannot be distracted. You cannot have your face in your phone. You cannot be glued to the TV. You know, you cannot be surrounded. You know, you cannot surround yourself with people and friends and co-workers and, you know, drinkers and smokers all day. You have to make time for solitude. You have to make time for you, to connect with you, to find who you are. Let's see, a lot of people don't know who you are as an individual because you keep a lot of people around you, you know, that validate your ego, which is you, who you actually are not. You know, your ego is you have many egos, and I've talked about this before, but they are false entities. You know, there are the parts of you which you think you are. You think you are your possessions. You think you are your accomplishments. You think you are your thoughts. You know, you think you are your past. You think you are your mistakes. You know, you attach yourself to your, like I said, to your material possessions. You think you are your job. You know, you think you are your body. You know, that's why a lot of people, when they work out, you know, they're not working out for the actual mental and emotional and spiritual benefits of exercise. You know, a lot of people caught in vanity, and they only work out because of the physical and how they look. You know, a lot of people attached to the physical results. You know, they just not tapped into the mental, spiritual, and emotional yet aspects of life yet. But once y'all do so, that's when you'll be free. But anyway, sound healing. You know, one of the ways to tap into, you know, yourself deeper, to go within yourself deeper, is through sound healing. You know, and like I said, sitting in silence, not listening to any sounds at all. You know, try when you first get up in the rising, sit in silence for 30 minutes. Sit in silent contemplation for 30 minutes. And just watch and see what wisdom, you know, arises. The inner wisdom of your soul. You know, just wait and watch and see what it's gonna say. What it's gonna suggest that you do that day. You know. And then before you go to sleep, do the same thing. You know, don't scroll through social media for 30 minutes to an hour while you're right before you fall asleep. Don't go to sleep watching a television show or a movie. You know, go to sleep consciously programming your subconscious mind for greatness. Go to sleep, you know, say affirmations right before you go to sleep. Say affirmations first thing when you wake up. You know? Read a book. You know, try to read a book. If you can't sit in silence for 30 minutes when you first wake up, read a book. You know, read some kind of self-help book that can teach you something. You know, that can open your eyes up to something, you know, when you wake up and before you go to sleep. Listen to the sound healing frequencies right before you go to sleep or while you're sleeping. And even, you know, after you wake up, you know. I talk about, you know, I go deeper into it in my book, 22 Keys to Higher Consciousness. You know, I would go deeper into it now, but, you know, I wanted to make this short. And I just wanted to encourage y'all to go, if you wanted to, if any of you wanted to. You don't have to. I won't be mad at y'all if y'all don't. But if y'all want to go deeper into this and more subjects like this, 22 Keys to Higher Consciousness, available now. It's out now on Amazon, hardback and paperbacks coming soon to a city and a bookstore near you. And it's gonna be on more platforms as well here soon. And you know, for those of y'all that like audiobooks, I'm gonna make it an audiobook. Cause I know, you know, yeah. If you know, you know, audiobooks hit different. Audiobooks hit different. But so yeah. Go deeper into sound healing and the effects of it and the benefits and why it's imperative and important for your spiritual growth and development. You know, and your consciousness evolution journey. All right. So, with that being said, I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all too much longer. Just know that with all that being said, you have to really be mindful of the music that you're listening to as well. I don't think I mentioned that. You have to be mindful of the music that you're listening to, because a lot of the music that they put out on the radio, You know, a lot of the music that they push through the industry, in Hollywood, man, it's demonic. And you know, a lot of y'all are not knowledgeable about the frequencies that they push through the music, which is you know, 432 is the love frequency. Well, they put all the music on 440 hertz. All y'all gotta do to see the significance of what I'm talking about is go look up a video. It's gonna show you. Go look up a video. You know, I'm pretty sure you can find this on YouTube or Google, where somebody is playing a 440 hertz frequency and 432 hertz frequency next to water, next to a bowl or a cup of water. And the water, you know, the water is gonna react to those frequencies, and it's pretty much like, or if not water, it's like some sand. It's like a plate of sand. And with the 432 hertz frequency, when you play it next to the sand, to the plate of sand, it's gonna make harmonious, sacred geometrical shapes. You know, like I say, harmonious, peaceful, sacred geometrical shapes, like kind of like snowflakes. Y'all ever seen snowflakes magnified? That's what frequencies like 432 hertz does to your body, because you know, we're all made up of what, like 70% water. And you know, the frequencies do the same thing to the sand as they do to the water, or they do the same thing they do to the water as they do to the sand. So and our bodies are composed up of earth too. We have all the elements inside of us, whether y'all know it or not: earth, air, fire, and water. And frequencies affect every single last one of those elements the same way, the same exact way. But when you play 440 hertz music next to a bowl of water or a plate of sand, the images, the shapes are gonna be like chaotic. You know, they're not gonna be beautiful. You know, they're not gonna be as beautiful as the beautiful shapes and images and patterns that the 432 hertz frequency forms with the sand and the water. You know, it's gonna be like discord in the shapes. You know, they're gonna be distorted. You know, and that's what 440 hertz music does to your mind, body, and spirit. You know, now if you somebody like me, who's an ascended master, you can really, like, you can listen to that kind of music sometimes and kind of like, in a way, transmute it. You know, you can transmute it and use it to your benefit. You know, like for me, for example, I use that kind of music to intensify my workouts, to intensify my cardio when I go out on runs, or to intensify my workouts when I'm, you know, lifting weights. Just to get me pumped up, get me hyped up, and motivated to push through my workout to the end, you know, and to do more, you know, because you want to take it to, you know, you want to take it one step further every time you work out. So, you know, you're getting stronger, you know, and you gaining more stamina and whatnot. So yeah, that's how I use 440 hertz music, you know, but I make sure at the same time that I don't flood and poison my mind by listening to that stuff too much. You know, I know how to balance it out, you know. I know how to balance it out with the frequencies and with, you know, music that's made with 442 or 432 hertz frequencies. And music like 417. That's one of the solfeggio frequencies. 936, that's another one, if I'm not mistaken. 417, 471, that's a solfeggio frequency that I know there are, you know, spiritual artists that make their music using the solfeggio frequencies, like Spiritual Tony. Shout out to Tone. That's my dog. Shout out to Von Two Cut. Shout out to Von. So, you know, them several artists y'all can go check out. They make their music with the love frequency. You feel me? With the love frequencies. But anyway, so yeah, you know, you got to keep the balance. It's okay to listen to music like that sometimes, because like, I ain't gonna lie, like, you know, I don't really condone or support music that's talking about killing each other and, you know, degrading our women and stuff like that. Niggas, bitches, hoes. I don't condone or support that, but at the same time, like I say, I know how to transmute it. Like, if I'm listening to a song that's where it's a guy, he's talking about killing his own people, killing his own kind, I take that and turn that into, okay, if I was that dude making this song, I would direct my energy to the actual enemy, which is the government, which is 12, which is the police, and which is, you know what I'm saying, our used to be our former oppressors, because we ain't oppressed no more. You know what I'm saying? So I direct that energy towards them. I don't direct that energy. If I'm listening to that kind of music, I'm not directing that energy and harnessing that chaotic energy and pushing it towards my fellow guys and goddesses. You know? So I'm just more conscious when I'm listening to that music now. You know, if I am gonna listen to it. And that's the same thing y'all gotta start, you know, being more mindful of, is how you letting that energy, how you taking that energy and using it and transmuting it, you know, and what you putting it into. What are you putting that into? You know? Especially if you want semen retention, but that's a whole nother video. But you can, you know, direct that, harness your sexual energy, put it into creative pursuits, you know, transmute it into that sexual energy and turn it and convert it into meditative and creative and meditative energy. So with that being said, that's the video, man. I don't want to hold y'all too much longer. So like I say, if y'all want to go deeper into topics like that and more, 22 Keys to Higher Consciousness on the Amazon store right now. Y'all go check that out. Y'all go grab that. Leave me some reviews. Let me know what y'all think about it. I love your feedback. But until then, in the meantime, in between time, until we meet again, y'all be brilliant, be beautiful, be blissful, be bold. Let go of all the lies you was told, and watch everything you touch slowly but surely turn to gold. And I will catch y'all on the next episode for sure. Yo, 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 yo. Y'all have a beautiful day, beautiful reflections. I love you all dearly and divinely. Ashe. Namaste.